to eat the baby. But yeah, I want everybody to look up the Satan abortion clinics named after Satan, and look up the UK hospitals. A hospital that was powered up by aborted fetuses. No. Look it up.
He's right.
That's just insane.
He's right.
Is that, Andrew?
He's right.
That shit is insane.
He's right. He's right.
Not right, Andrew.
No, he is, brother. 2014, 2 hospitals were found guilty, or found doing, I guess I shouldn't say guilty, it might be completely fine, incinerating waste from fetuses to, from waste to energy.
Well, I looked up the Satan thing, by the way.
I haven't done the Satan thing yet, but the waste to energy is true. He is correct. They are doing that. They did it in the UK. Two hospitals were in fact doing it. They.
What's the source of that, Andrew? Like what?
Yeah. So here, and there's actually a video. There's a news. There's
in the day and age of AI, Andrew, I wouldn't trust.
No. I got you.
I was being so good to make sure I got way more information on this stuff.
Let me tell you about the same thing.
The same thing.
Let me look at the source. It's SatanIsBehindAbortion.com. No, it's AlexJones.com. No, wait.
No. It's true, but it's true. No. It's true. No, wait, hold on. It's true.
This stuff is true.com.
Oh my God, no. It's true, but it's true not in the way he's saying. The Church of Satan opened abortion clinics for women. Because remember, in Texas, they had that whole fight to get. Yeah, so it's completely backwards. It's not right. It's not like a satanic thing. And like,
no, there is abortion clinics named after Satan. I'm not being.
No, that's just
Ben, when you get a chance, why you can ask Deepak again, but hold on, Ben, when you get a chance, brother, I don't know when you're going to get to take a break. It sounds like you're a trucker or whatnot, which is good because that means you can hang with us. But when you get a chance, when you pull over or do whatever, if you're picking up a lot lizard, if you get a chance, if you can look that up and like provide the names of these abortion clinics. Oh, actually, there are several abortion clinics. It looks like. Yeah, so he didn't say, guys, just to be clear, he's not saying that normal, these are normal clinics being started by the government or something. These are clinics being started by people.
In England, they would be supported by the government because it's a national healthcare system. So
yeah,
that would be part of the claim.
By the government, wouldn't they? Because
yeah. So dude, let him find that. Deepak, I have a question. I've asked it 2 times.
Sorry.
I want to ask it a 3rd time. Where is it
analogous
saying like abortion to tie-in ovaries or a vasectomy? How is that analogous?
I mean, analogous in what context? I mean, obviously it's analogous in the sense that they're both medical procedures.
Well, no. Yeah, they're both medical procedures, right? But one out of the 3 eliminates a life form. The other 2 are established to not create a life form. So how is it analogous in the way that you said it?
In what way? I mean, maybe I did, but I don't remember comparing abortion to.
You actually did. That's the reason I spoke up the first time.
Unless it was in the context of saying that they're all medical procedures that entail some non-zero amount of risk, just like any medical procedure would, right? Just like a tonsillectomy does.
No, actually, I brought up where is the statistical risk of having an abortion for the past 50 years, right? I brought that up. What is the death rate? What is the death rate of women who have abortions in the last 15 years? Is it statistically dangerous? Is it statistically dangerous versus? And that was the original conversation I brought up to you when you were talking about abortions being a procedure.
I don't have a number offhand, but I just. I just think it's a reasonable inference that it's going to be non-zero because it's a medical procedure.
Of course it's non-zero. Then this is a direct quote for anybody who wants to check the replays. He had to cite a drunk doctor He had to say that, let's say there's a drunk doctor that performs it. That's how extreme his position has to
get you
be.
to shut up.
No,
Yes.
dude, that's how extreme your position has to be.
No, that's
to try to.
what it takes to get you to shut up.
You're so deep, dude. Like,
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
you're deep talk, right? You're
That's
so
wrong.
deep. You're in too deep, as the movie says. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're making an analogy in any form about, like, even from a procedural, like, life of saving the mother, right? If you're making that as your premise, and then you're talking about tubes tied or vasectomies, which is like, snipping of various. Hold on a second. If you're talking about tubes being tied or
What is talking about that?
oh my gosh, dude, this guy is ridiculous at this point. So
look, you're just like droning on
Dude,
about
they're not-
something
dude,
super irrelevant.
just
That's
saying,
I mean,
like,
I told you why I'm bringing it up.
a surgery, right? Let's just start at your base level of a surgery, and it could have like implications, and it could be like negative towards the participant, the patient, right? In all three of these circumstances, only two of those are to negate life. The third is that it's already life already existing and taking away life. But just so you know, statistically,
I already know.
all those surgeries,
told me this already.
all those surgeries have the same oh my gosh, fatality rates, right? Like they all have. So then it's not the same argument.
The fuck, look, why do you think I brought up this whole thing in the first place? Like, what was the context? Do you remember?
Yeah, the context is, no wait, just so everybody knows, the context is you support the concept of abortion, that you'll make claims, that you'll false analogy to not being conceptualized, right? Like not being to the point of conception. Yes, that's the reason those surgeries exist, is to not have conception.
That wasn't the context. The context was in the middle of a discussion with Andrew about this. Like, he read out that whole, like, sort of, whatever, right? That, like, little preamble thing on the website of, like, shout your abortion, right? And I was saying, the only part of that I disagree with, I think at least, the only part that I disagree with is where it says that abortions. Yeah. I do think there should be.
No, then you led to
their medical procedure.
vasectomies.
Right, that
Then
could
you
be
led
the
to vasectomies.
What?
Then you led to vasectomies. Vasectomies are
If I
to
did,
stop the
only-
concept.
If I did need to vasectomy, it was only because I was saying that that an abortion is just a medical procedure, like a vasectomy, right, that carries some non-zero amount of risk. So with that reason,
No, but the difference, real quick, just so you know why they're non-analogous, right, is that a vasectomy is a surgery so that you don't conceive and that you don't have to have an abortion. No, it's that you don't have to have an abortion.
Analogy. I could have just replaced vasectomy with tonsillectomy.
Do you understand that? Like a vasectomy. No, do you understand that a vasectomy is so that you don't have to have an abortion?
Just explain it to him.
No, why Deepak doesn't understand how babies work, and I've been trying to explain this to him. He doesn't understand.
Andrew, do you understand the point that I'm making? Does anybody?
Why? I had a very good funded white school, so I understand the birds and the bees. I know how vasectomies work. I understand what it means to be pregnant. Deepak has the order all backwards. He doesn't even know what's going on. He thinks reading comic books gets you pregnant. It's very weird.
Wait, the talk doesn't bring them?
Yeah, one of your brothers gave you the wrong information, Deepak. That's not how that works. Exactly. But I'll just say why, yes, I think Deepak, just to be clear, why Deepak understands the distinction between a vasectomy and, an abortion. I think he gets the distinction. He does. I think we're good.
But he didn't equate it the same, did he?
I don't remember him equating it.
I'm not saying that they're exactly the same procedure, no. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
I'm not saying that, but
It doesn't rely on that.
He's like,
But but the reasons of having them are different, correct?
yeah.
Okay. So?
Oh, yeah,
How
okay.
is why they both stop babies.
Yeah, no, I agree. But the difference is one of them stops before conception. The other one is that for conception, a life has already formed.
I agree.
Is it a burden for you to like constantly remember that you have to breathe every minute? Like,
That's like this crap is ridiculous at this point. Like, do I have to remember to breathe?
I'm trying to explain, like maybe you should use smaller words or something. The point of the analogy, right? The point of the analogy is just to say that like an abortion, like any other medical procedure, like tonsillectomy, for example, right, carries a non-zero risk to the patient. And for that reason, even if no other, for that reason alone, it should be rare. Right?
Dude, dude, here's the thing. You're saying a non-zero, and I agree with that, right? But if we look statistically, all three of them, right, tubes tied, fucking vasectomies, and abortions, are not like a life-threatening operation. They're not. Like getting your tonsils taken away is not like statistically a life-threatening. Now we could agree there's a 0.0001%, but that doesn't elevate your
You've never argued it was like threatening.
Just so you know, that doesn't elevate your argument.
Deepak never argued if it was like threatening or not. He said it was just a risk. If you was listening to him, he said there's no risk.
And I agree with that. It's a risk.
Yeah, but
it's a risk. But the difference
if it was
is
like threatening risk, though.
No, the difference is
that was your argument.
Yeah.
No,
Are you saying
the
that the risk is so negligible that it's not worth like considering at all? Like,
no. The risk, right? The risk is already after conceiving versus two others that the risk is that you don't conceive.
yeah,
But you're trying to conflate those two.
No,
You understand?
There's no, like, look, there's no, look,
It's a risk that you put a condom on and that you have an allergic reaction. That's just a fact. There's a risk that can happen, right? Would you agree that there's a risk of that?
I don't know.
Whether it's a 0.001%, there's a risk that a male, puts a condom on and that they have allergic reaction, or the woman has allergic reaction, correct?
Yes.
Now, is that point of doing that condom to possibly not have a child?
Go ahead.
Deepak?
And Christian, do not leave, by the way. And Universe, I'm proud of you for not getting crazy. Go ahead, Deepak.
What was the question?
What is there a percentage chance like that a condom could cause an allergic reaction either for the male or the female?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Why can't
And
you?
what is the purpose of that condom? To not have a child, Deepak?
Very good. So yes. So a condom is something that's necessary, right? So there is a reason, right? So it is true.
Only
Right? So
a
for
month
example,
and
like, the analogy
operating
would be like, you
like
know, you shouldn't like be just putting on condoms for no reason, right? If you're not planning to have sex, right? Don't just put a condom on and walk around, right?
Dude, even your like real quick, Deepak. Even your school system disagrees with that. No. Deepak, even your school system says that's not true. They say that you should test condoms on yourself to make sure that they fit.
I mean, if that's true, then it's a necessary thing, right? It's something that you need to do.
It's like nobody is telling you to do that. Hey, if they do tell you to do that, it's a necessary risk. Like, dude, I'm just showing, like, you haven't thought this out.
Okay, yeah, I'm the one who hasn't thought this out.
No, honestly, you haven't. Dude, I'm just,
somehow I'm
dude,
making
I
like
use your
equating
own words right
vasectomy
there.
to abortions, and I'm the one who hasn't thought this out. Okay.
Dude, I use your own words there. Right? Like, you try to say, oh, if anybody uses a condom, because the original conversation that it could cause an allergic reaction, right? Firstly, that would be the male putting on the condom. You wouldn't know any female have an allergic reaction until the condom is inside them or rubbing their skin. So then, therefore, the school system actually teaches children to put on condoms to make sure that they fit them before they have sex. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't get it, dude.
No idea.
Why can't you just admit that? Why can't you
just
just admit that one of your thought experiments was incorrect?
Because you win, whatever, you're right.
Why? I think so. Somebody asked if you could. There's a request from a longtime patron that you dial down the volume just a little bit, and then secondly, someone said that they wished your dad would have used a condom, which I think was a little bit harsh. But
Yeah, secular. I get it, secular.
he means that in love, though. He means that in love. Secular. I thought it was kind of I mean, it was mean, but it was actually kind of funny. But only because.
It's just a common joke. That's like, oh, your mom should have swallowed. Yeah. It's like a common joke, dude. It's like.
You're good.
It's like Kill Tony type comedy, dude. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, Kill Tony's off the chain. Okay. Spirit and by the way, Ben, I think there's only 3 satanic temples. If you find more, by all means. But I actually didn't know about that. I didn't know about the burning of fetuses to heat the place either. Both of those are true. Pretty fascinating. Spirit, and then the testosterone stopping men from crying or making them less, susceptible to crying. That was interesting as well. You've got
that apparently is true.
Yeah, no. Ben's dropped some stuff, and I know you don't like the other stuff he said.
That's true. Ben has been dropping some crazy stuff, but it's all checked out so far.
Yeah, it really has. No, really, dude. I found him in one of these rooms, and I was like, dude, this guy's cool. I want him to come hang out. So I'm glad you came over, Ben. I'm glad you're here. Spirit, do you want to weigh in, brother? And by the way, Universe, you can come in too here in a second because you've actually been good, which is surprising. You guys realize that's the John Kitover. That's the real man that comes in with 58 different accounts and streams us live on 30 different YouTube channels and has that real annoying voice that he does. That's
it. Streamed on YouTube?
Bro, I came into it. I looked at a video on YouTube, and it was him with no shirt on in his basement with a big Israeli flag behind him. And he had like Snoop Dogg filters on his head, and like actual dog filters, and then like Snoop Dogg, I don't know, weird. And then and he was listening to us on his phone. He had his phone sitting there on his desk. He's listening to us, and there's like 2 people watching. It was weird. I don't know. I don't know. It's creepy. And
actually, subscribe.
My wife doesn't find it strange.
I wish somebody subscribe.
Bro, yeah, just subscribe. Because listen, Nathan actually asked him one day, hey, we don't record our rooms. Can you help us find a replay? And he had the replay of the room or something. He had the room. Okay.
Maybe this is what Sasha needs then, right? The long fabled, thing that she's looking for.
The long fabled.
I don't know how many people have told me on this app like, you're not supposed to record.
More than anything.
Abe.
Well, no, the Roger one.
Oh, the Roger one. I thought you were going to say something about something concerning. Okay. Yes. The Roger one. Oh yeah, I couldn't believe. Man, that was so rough. I wish that would have. You guys missed the game.
My bad.
No, it's all good. We just.
No, but the one before. I think the one she really wanted was the one before that. Right?
Dude, that one's still there. I need to go back and find that.
Well, I'm confused. I thought she said she didn't have a copy of that.
No. I don't know if she has a copy of that. We don't have this most recent one. That one, I just have to go back and find.
Huh? I mean, the latest, the last one wasn't so, whatever. Right?
No, it wasn't very good. No, but the first one was really intense, and they really got into it, and it was less hostile. It was more substantive. They actually went down all the different counters to psychophysical harmony, and Sasha did good on it. But nonetheless, or all the different counters. I shouldn't say all the counters, but whatever counters that Roger was bringing to the table. Get him and Oppie and others brought forward. Anyway, Simon, good to have you, brother. Spirit, you want to weigh in, bro? Feminism, abortion. By the way, anybody in the audience, we don't bite. You can come up here. Sigma, you should come up. MJ, you should definitely come up. Abu, come up here and spit some Islam at us, brother. We love you.
This David guy never
40 days. 40 days is the Islamic position about abortion. Just so everybody knows, 40 days.
Wait, what'd you say? Why?
Yeah, look it up. 40 days is the concept of Islam because it takes 40 days for the spirit to enter the baby of the womb.
Quickening, right? Isn't that also like a concept in like, at least, I don't know, I thought like Christian some Christians also used to
If
believe
you
that.
want it, I'll provide it. I don't want to look it up. If I have to, I will. But like,
He's correct. He's correct. The only thing I'd say it's still wrong. Like we say, it's still immoral to, let's say, abort your baby, let's say after 1 month. And the reason why is generally having
40 days is not 1 month.
I know. I'm saying even though we don't consider it murder, like it wouldn't qualify as murder because there's, like you said, there's no spirit. We still believe it's wrong to, like, just promote abortions at any time.
Yeah. You know,
That's not true.
I just want to say, Abu Assalamu alaikum. I just wanted to say, Islam is going to do really well because of this policy. You know, I mean, for the most part, you know, this helps them, the longevity of Islam, by having such a high, you know, birth rate, and you know, them not aborting. Because I don't know how prevalent abortion is, even in the most liberal Muslim countries. I don't know. I haven't looked into that, but I think that helps you guys as far as longevity goes, and you know, just conversion. Well,
I'm pretty sure Saudi Arabia created a law about the 40-day abortion. Like, I'm pretty sure they created a law about that.
yeah. What do they do if they get an abortion at like 6 months, Abu? Like a secret abortion or something?
Like it would be, there's no Islamic state. It would just be illegal. I don't know it depends on which Muslim country. They'll just make it illegal, and if you get caught, it depends on the law of the country. Well, I don't know, like,
What if there is an Islamic state?
if there isn't, then you've just done a sin, right?
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
the professions of the act.
Yeah. I mean,
Nah.
when you think of Saudi Arabia, I think it's Saudi Arabia. I just wanted to ask you about this real quick. I guess it's in 2024. Y'all might find this interesting. I think it's in 2024. I could be wrong. They've had a massive uptick in like beheadings and stuff like that for drug trafficking or for drug dealers and stuff like that.
Okay. Can you put a source down?
Yeah. Let me see.
There's like 24 people, if I'm not mistaken. They executed them in the public square.
Are you not familiar? Well, let's just assume that it is happening.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but are those just late-term abortions?
No, we're talking about drug trafficking right now, but
I think, like the state, if they want to really clamp down on crime and show people like a strong hand,
yeah.
it does have its benefits for the general public,
I agree.
right? So I'll give an example, like, you know, you get school shootings in America, so people are worried about their kids. That's not something anyone worries about in Saudi Arabia. Like, no one sits there thinking, maybe most people don't even think about it in America, like the average person doesn't. But let's say it was even more common than it was. More people would be worried. In Saudi Arabia, I lived there, by the way. I've seen people leave their car doors open. I've seen people be very like they leave their house and their doors open and they walk out for.
You said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
They would be willing to, and it's suffering, they would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing. Do it. And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas, they're saying, please come back, come back, come back. These are the people. I don't know what they do. All I can tell you is they want freedom. They have lived in a world that you know nothing about. It's a violent, horrible world where if you protest, you are shot.
Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and international law. With the New York Times, result from the New York Times.
Are you failing? Are you concerned? Circulation way down at the New York Times.
Are you concerned that the threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to
No. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators, and because they're going to have a nuclear weapon. And if somebody that takes my place someday is weak and ineffective, which possibly that will happen because we had numerous presidents that were weak, ineffective, and afraid of Iran, we're never going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And if you think it's okay for people that are sick of mind, that are tough, smart, and sick, really sick, from a policy standpoint, from a standpoint, any which way you want to say, mentally, these are disturbed people. If you think I'm going to allow them, and powerful and rich, to have a nuclear weapon, you can tell your friends at the New York Times, not going to happen.
Meetings violate international law.
You no longer have credibility in the New York Times because the New York Times said, "Oh, Trump won't win the election," and I won in a landslide. I won every swing state. New York Times said, "Oh, Trump won't win the election." New York Times has no credibility. The credibility they have is it used to be all the news that's fit to print. The old gray lady, it was great, but they're running on past fumes, and you can't keep doing that. You have to be able to give the correct news. And people like you, who I know, are fake. You're fake.
You said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing?
I don't care what.
Carry out these sentences in prisons.
Don't care what.
Never, and I mean never say, sorry to bother you.
Let me try it. The only consequence is failure. By the way, not trying is failing. I want to make that very clear. Not trying.
Why does no manage?
Audience, so if I do not find somebody song.
I can't move on.
Some people don't see how much you do for them.
Nike is looking for people to test.
You were now, I see you, I need you. Take it now, slow down, keep cool, I'm come here now, if you're out, keep it, I'll hold down.
This is really heavy.
You right now, what's that if you want to now? If I get you, I'm saying to back it up. And no, it's hard to say without you everywhere. Oh, it's hard to leave you without you everywhere.
This was 10 years, I think 10 years ago, right?
What did you think of that? What did you think of that, Abu?
But the way I see it is, I always wonder, well, as long as due process, my only concern is, was due process done? And were they 100% sure they were guilty? If they were, then I don't really have a problem with it because I know I feel safe in Saudi. I know I feel much safer in Saudi than I do. I couldn't stay there, first of all. I couldn't stay there. I'd love to live there. So just before you say, oh, why don't you stay there? I'd love to live there, but citizenship there isn't as simple as like in a Western country. So if I had the choice and citizenship was easier, I would live in Saudi Arabia. But I'm living in a country that is like a Western country where I feel, at least when it comes to crime, a bit less safe. Like your phone can get stolen any minute. You can't walk around with cash. These sort of things. Someone might steal it. Like I'd be worried about kids getting into drugs. Just these concerns don't really exist in Saudi as much.
Yeah. Let me read this. The last 2 years have seen a record-breaking increase in the number of executions carried out by the Saudi state. 2025 record. Saudi Arabia executed at least 356 people in 2025. The highest number ever recorded. And in 2024, this followed a previous record of 345 executions in 2024. The primary offenses, the majority, nearly 70% of those executed in 2025 were committed.
If you're a small content creator, the smarter you
previous moratorium of a previous moratorium on such executions. The execution process. The condemned person is typically brought to a public square or courtyard near a prison. They are blindfolded and made to kneel, An executioner uses a traditional longsword, often called a sword.
I said that even about the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Andrew, this is my point, man. If I was in charge of Saudi Arabia and it was like a very safe, crime-free country, and some syndicate wanted to come in and bring in crime, I might be very like, I'm going to stab that.
Wait,
bit. And
so
if it
your
means
presupposition is that Saudi Arabia is a very safe crime, like,
it's not completely crime-free. It's not completely crime-free. It's not completely crime-free, but you will feel.
But that was your presupposition.
Well, let's.
No, I just said it's safer. Okay, not
Yeah,
crime.
it probably is. It really probably is.
The thing is, some people don't like. I met many Western
I
people.
don't know. They allowed women to drive about 10 years ago. I don't know how to say it.
But what I'm saying is, I met many Westerners who lived in Saudi Arabia, non-Muslim Westerners, right? And some of them didn't like it because they were like, I can't find alcohol, I can't find there's no way to have fun. And some people really loved it. They just loved the idea of just feeling like secure, feeling safe, just doing their own family things, going to the mall. They just like that very simple lifestyle. So it just all depends on do you want to live in a country that has a bit of restricts your freedom a bit when it comes to I want to drink alcohol, I want to go clubbing, or do you want to live in a country that's prioritized safety and things like this? It's up to you. At least there's an option.
No, that's a false analogy, right? Like, Saudi Arabia has taken away every freedom
Every freedom.
individual. Like, let's just look at women, right? Women are not allowed to leave unless they can prove that their husband or their guardian, their maham, as Arabic says, said that they're allowed to leave.
That's not practice. That's not practice in the actual country. Like who's
I agree. It's not practical in the sense that Saudi Arabia has millions of people. So how are they gonna prove it individual by individual? But if you start a law that is not practical and you can't disprove it, then you're gonna start your statistics off of that law.
Look, I knew many Western women, nurses especially, they're Western, actually non-Western too, like many Filipino nurses, even maids would come in, who liked living there. I mean, they were even you could argue they would be the least type of people who would like it because they had even less freedoms since they were working as a maid and they don't be allowed out there.
Let's just do this. Anybody who wants to, look up when Saudi Arabia banned slavery. Right?
I don't know what, you bring it up.
I'm just showing, the concept of, human rights, right? And you're trying to say, essentially, Saudi Arabia does promote human rights and it's so safe.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it promotes human rights. It does.
But you're saying that you're comparing the concept of Saudi Arabia, which denies human rights, to countries that do have human rights, and that says there's laws that women or individuals can make their own lives free. Let's just say that, right? They can do what they choose.
No, literally what I said they can't do. You have less freedoms in Saudi Arabia. I'm admitting that. I don't know where you're understanding my point. I'm admitting there are less freedoms. I've met people who don't like the fact that there are less freedoms there. And I've met people who absolutely fine with it. It doesn't bother me, women and men. It doesn't bother them that there are less freedoms. They like the fact that they're in a place where they feel safe. Maybe they came from a place in America where they...
We live in America and we still feel safe, right? People do feel safe.
There are people, for example, I know women in this country, I'm in the UK, who don't go out at night. They don't feel safe. They won't walk out by themselves. While in Saudi Arabia...
Can they do that in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, and they feel safe.
Real quick. Can they do that without, permission?
Yeah, most Western women can, yeah. I don't know about Muslims.
No, in Saudi Arabia, can they do that without permission?
They can. Yes, they can.
Oh my gosh, this guy's a liar.
Show me the legal law. I don't know.
You have to have a mom.
Is why. I don't know what your point is. I'm following discussion. Are you saying that country doesn't have to do their own law or something like that?
No, so there is even a concept that a woman who doesn't cover up inside of Islam, right? She doesn't cover her hair.
I understand.
He doesn't want to hear it.
Go ahead.
No, dude, you're so confident. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead.
Saying like when you bring up like Saudi Arabia, women can walk around even at nighttime and they feel so confident that nothing's gonna happen to them because of the laws and the punishments that would be applied to them. You're talking about like there's also laws that they're not allowed to leave without certain restrictions. One of them being a Imam saying that they can leave. Going back to Muhammad saying that
I'm arresting you.
to go outside
on suspicion. This is the moment a 30-year-old was
visit her parents. And then you also have, and that cannot be denied. And that's part of Saudi Arabia's rulings inside of their kingship. Nobody can deny that. And then you also have the concept of like, if a woman is not covered up in Saudi Arabia, if something happens to her, then what? If she's not covered up, right? Like you're bringing up false analogies about the West concept of freedom and how safety works versus your concept. Like you believe that this protects women, that their hair is covered up, even their face is covered up possibly, or that they're given permission to go for X reason or Y reason from their guardian. That's not the concept of the West, but you're trying to conflate those two.
Wait a second. Who said that the concept of the West apply on any other country? And again, I ask you a question. Are you saying that? Are you saying?
Who was trying to conflate those two?
Okay, are you saying that countries aren't allowed to have their own restriction and they own?
No, I completely do. I'm a relativist on this. I believe that any country wants to rule any way they want to. That's okay with me. I don't give a fuck. Right?
Okay.
That's the reason.
So you agree? Like, okay.
No, I'm just pointing out that it's not a relative. Like, it's relative in the sense that, hey, one country does X and another country does Y. But it's not relevant to a conversation to say that X country rules X way and Y country rules Y way. And then therefore, that country is deemed safer, even though, like, right? The people who travel to that country, they are treated differently. And they could be executed. Like, here's the thing. Think of this, right? If a non-Muslim travels to Mecca, what's the punishment? What's the punishment if a non-Muslim? What is the punishment for a non-Muslim that travels to Mecca? What is the punishment for a non-Muslim that travels to Mecca?
Okay, are you saying that punishment of that country doesn't suit you? Are you saying that?
Oh my gosh, dude. First, we start out with
okay. I'm asking yes or no. I'm asking yes or no question.
The Islamic position and inside of the conversation that we're holding is not about shooting. It's about public execution for being beheaded through swords.
Okay, are you saying that punishment? Okay, are you saying you don't like the punishment of certain country?
Dude, I don't care how they punish people.
So why you bringing that up? Like we agree, then we disagree. Like for example, you saying that I support the.
No, I'm just saying like dude, you can make comparisons and then we could critique those comparisons.
Okay, that's a good okay. Okay, that's a good point. I could agree to that. Like that's a good point. Like you allowing your own rules, but you can.
That's all I did.
Wait a second. We have to have criteria to decide which is better. So in this time,
I never made a comparison about which is better.
Are you gonna cut me off every time?
No, Muhammad. I just want you to understand. I never said some way is better or some way is worse. I never did that.
So why are you mentioning a certain type of, I don't know, punishment?
Because it seems like what Abu is trying to say is that Islam in Saudi Arabia is safer and better for X reason. Now, we don't have evidence for that. What we do have evidence for is that...
Okay. Can I stop you on that? Because what we talk about is something to secure the human life in the country. And if you did the comparison between a country that is more freedom and a country that have less freedom, you will notice that if those rules abide by, the result of it is a country is more safer. By the data alone, not my opinion, not your opinion. This is what the data say.
That's also not fair because Saudi Arabia is a more harmonious country, right? Like you can't go out. You can't go out there and start speaking about Jesus. You can't start saying like Islam is false.
That doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. No.
Are you accepting? Wait a second. You arguing the point like you going back. You already said every country have their own law. I accepted that relatively.
Right. I'm just saying that
Wait a second.
You can't compare the two.
Then wait a second. After they have their own law, you come and say, I don't agree with that law. I'm not saying if you agree with that. Okay, what do you say?
What I'm saying is that you can't compare a country that says, hey, if women leave without their mahram, we can persecute them. As opposed to a country that says a woman has a right to leave without any mahrams.
That's a law.
Dude, I'm just showing. Dude, real quick. You can't talk about like being free when you're talking about like a country that if you go out into the streets and you say that Muhammad is a pedophile, you'll be executed, as opposed to a country where you can do that.
There is no actual freedom.
No, dude. Do you not understand that?
I'm just pointing something that there is no actual freedom.
Dude, what you're trying to compare is a country where a king can say execute that motherfucker in the public square versus a country that says no, they have to hold a trial and they have to be convicted by their peers. There's a complete fucking difference, my guy.
Okay, I understand. So you already say, like you negating your first initial statement. You say that you support relative ruling. Now you say, I don't support relative ruling. Shut up for 1 second. Man, let me finish. At least I'll let you finish. Let me finish. First initial statement, you said, I support XY for certain country. Now you say I don't support XY for certain country because this is my preference or this is what I think right. You contradicting yourself.
Negative.
Do you see that?
Negative. I'm just showing you that it's not a fair comparison. If you're saying that like there is a country, right, hypothetically, that says, hey, if you defame X person, then you're allowed to be publicly executed, and that's
okay, that's the rules.
That's a concept of freedom, right? You can do it privately, but you can't do it publicly. And then there's another country where you can do it publicly, and you can't be like ostracized to the point where you will be publicly executed.
I understand that, by the way. You don't have to repeat it.
I'm not negating that a country is allowed to do that. What I'm saying is that they're not comparable in the concept of like open ideas or freedom or justice, right? They're just not.
Are you saying more freedom? Okay. Now you're shifting the conversation to another thing. You're saying this country have more. Okay, you're saying this country have more freedom, this country have less freedom.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now we having discussion about other thing. Is more freedom better than less freedom?
I would say more freedom.
Okay, if you have the freedom to kill each other, is that better than having the freedom not to kill each other?
This is a ridiculous guy.
I'm asking you a simple question.
No. When you talk about freedoms, you're talking about laws, right? Laws are established.
No, I'm speaking about freedom.
Just so you know, laws are to protect freedoms, at least in the
I know.
West.
I know. I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question.
That's not the concept of laws.
I'm asking you a direct question. You said more freedom is better than less freedom. I'm giving you a situation. Is more freedom, like for example, the ability you are free to kill anyone, is it better than the freedom? Okay. I'm asking you a simple question. Yes or no?
But you're not talking like anarchism is like the ideal system of like quote unquote freedom, right? You don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. But if you do fuck with me, I fuck with you.
No. I'm saying that you can. Is in that category.
Yeah, dude, you can just insert fuck with kill. In my analogy.
Are you saying that society is better than the other society?
Dude, the difference is, firstly, I've never said any society is better than any other society. What I'm pointing out to you is
can you answer the question?
What I'm pointing out to you is that they're not comparable at certain stances. Like, if there's a society that says that, hey, you can kill anybody that you want, it's not comparable to a society that says if you kill somebody, you're not allowed to do that. I'm not making a moral framework. You want to make this a moral framework. I'm not doing that.
Not moral framework.
If any country, right, any group of people, let's say a tribe, if a tribe comes around and they say, hey,